You know, my first thought was, is everybody okay? Both the girls were crying. My wife was talking, so I knew we were okay. Nobody was, nobody got knocked out. We're all fine. I look at the girls. They're both, they're scared, like they're crying, but I could tell that's it. Well, I got out of the truck and I yelled at the people in the other vehicle, and I just asked them, I said, was you on your phone? And then I just turned around and I started talking to my wife. Well, I tell my wife, I said, you need to call 911. And she says, I'm going to. Well, then we have a little insurance beaker in the truck. Well, insurance calls my wife because they got the crash detection and they called to make sure we were okay and everything. Well, I called 911 and I tell them everything. We got rear-ended by a vehicle and, we're all okay. I'm going to go up and make sure the other people are okay. So I walk up there and I start talking to the people. It was a lady and her daughter. Her daughter was screaming that she was hurt. Her ankle hurt. So, I'm a first responder, so I kind of looked at her leg. It wasn't cut, it wasn't swollen, it wasn't bruised, it wasn't changing colors, nothing like that. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave this alone. I said, the ambulance will be here soon. I told her, I said, we passed the ambulance. They were going north when we were going south right before the stoplight. I said, so they're not too far behind us. They'll be here soon. And I went back down. I checked on my family again. And that's when I realized that we'd hit the propane tank, that it was almost over on its side. And, I don't want to talk all about too much. I'll take up too much time talking about it. But, we were all okay. We had some bumps and scrapes and stuff like that. And it was amazing because as hard as we were hit, if we were in any other vehicle, we would be in the hospital if not killed, because I'm telling you, we was probably going 15 and she was going at least 80. I mean, she was moving. Because I have a 3/4 ton diesel that's got 35-inch tires, that's got a 5-inch lift, and she threw my truck 75 feet. So for her to move my truck that far, she was moving. We had just put tires on my truck a few months prior because the tires I had on my truck were absolutely bald. They were slicks, basically. And my first thought was, if those tires were still on my truck, this truck would have rolled for sure. Because the tires that are on my truck, they had enough grip strength that we went up on two wheels, but then we came back down. If I would have had those slicks, our truck would have rolled for sure, and at the very minimum, we would have had a lot more injuries than we ended up having. I told my wife if we were in any other vehicle, we'd probably still be in the hospital if we even made it there. So there was like 100 different things that could have or probably even should have gone differently that got us hurt a lot, but we didn't. And at the first the first minute of the wreck, my thought process was, this was our only vehicle. We just lost our only vehicle. What am I going to do now? That was my first thought. What am I going to do now? We don't have a vehicle. This was all we have. I don't have a way to pick my daughter up at school. I don't have a way to go to church. I don't have a way to do anything now. Well, that's something I'm trying. Like, I'm trying hard to not be that way anymore. Because my first thought was to go into the world again, to think about my fleshly body. What am I going to do? It wasn't, my first thought wasn't, my first thought was to make sure my family was okay. But after that, my first thought was not, thank God that He kept my family safe, no one's hurt. My first thought was, what am I going to do? Because this was our only vehicle and we just lost it. Since then I've had time to think about it and pray about it and stuff, and even that night I knew God was with us in that truck, and that's the only reason why we did not get hurt worse than we did, because God was with us. And now I've realized that, Satan was attacking me because he knew That first minute after the wreck, that thought, that was Satan in my mind. He knew, hey, this guy that I've been working on forever is giving his life to God. I don't want to lose him. What's one way that I can get his attention? Oh, they only have one vehicle. Oh, that vehicle he has, that was his dream truck. I'm going to take that from him, and he'll have no choice but to come back to me, because his anger is going to get the best of him, and he's going to come back to me. Well, it didn't work that way. You know, I didn't realize it now, but I realize it now. Now, I did not realize it then, but I realize it now. I asked my wife like 6 times while we were there, did you get my Bible out of the truck? Did you get my Bible out of the truck? And she kept saying yes. Then 5 minutes later, I'd say, can you please get my Bible out of the truck? And I didn't realize it then, but, you know, every time that I asked my wife, did you get my Bible out of my truck? That was me realizing that God was with us, God protected us. Even though I had not put 2 and 2 together in my head, in my heart I knew God was with us, and that's why I was so concerned about my Bible. Where's my Bible? Where's my Bible?